I'm on a mission to reach my first 1,000 subscribers, and I need your support. If you love movies, reviews, and great stories, hit that subscribe button and join me on this journey. Thank you.
The man poured an entire container of plastic explosives into a plastic box. Then, he grabbed a paint roller, dipped it into the explosives, and carefully spread it across the ceiling, forming a precise square. Directly above this square was a safe worth $35 million. After installing the detonator, the man firmly pressed the activation button. A deep, powerful explosion echoed, shaking the entire building in broad daylight. The safe vanished from the security team's sight in an unbelievable fashion. Down below, his accomplices had been waiting for a long time. Like shadows, they swiftly emerged, grabbed the safe, and loaded it onto a speedboat before making a getaway. When the security forces realized what had happened, they panicked and immediately pursued them by boat. However, these clueless guards had no idea they had been tricked by the classic, lure the tiger from the mountain, strategy. The real safe was actually lying silently at the bottom of what seemed to be a still and peaceful river. Noah the master locksmith was enduring immense water pressure but remained fully focused on unlocking the safe. Meanwhile, on the shore, the rest of the crew realized that the police had been dispatched. They had only 7 minutes. It was truly a race against death. Ethan gritted his teeth, using every bit of his skill and unwavering determination. Amidst the suffocating tension, he successfully cracked the complex lock within just 3 minutes. They hurriedly opened the safe. A ton of gleaming gold bars lay before their eyes. The dazzling light was nearly blinding. In the few precious moments remaining, they stuffed the gold into their motorized bags as fast as they could. Just as the police charged in, they had already vanished with the gold right under their noses. At that moment, Liam the elite driver was skillfully leading the guards on a wild chase through a labyrinth of canals. He signaled to his waiting accomplices. A cargo ship slowly moved to block the river. And with a perfect maneuver, Liam floored the gas pedal, executing a breathtaking turn. The unlucky guards behind them had no time to react and crashed straight into the cargo ship. Getting themselves hopelessly stuck, the team easily escaped pursuit. They regrouped atop a snow-covered mountain. Though the icy wind cut through them like a blade, the cold couldn't extinguish the fiery joy of victory burning inside them. The group raised their glasses in celebration of their glorious triumph. Gabriel solemnly thanked Ryan. Without his flawless plan, they could never have stolen $35 million without firing a single shot. Everyone was ecstatic, their eyes glimmering with hope for a brighter future. However, amidst the festive atmosphere, only Marcus remained unusually calm. His face was like the still surface of a lake, hiding an unfathomable secret. They drove down the mountain, eager to divide their spoils. But the moment they arrived at a towering dam, 2 vehicles suddenly appeared, blocking them in, one at the front and one at the rear. Like 2 ferocious beasts trapping their prey, everyone was stunned, struggling to comprehend what was happening before disaster struck. No one could have imagined that Marcus was the traitor. He revealed his true self, a ruthless, cold-blooded opportunist stealing the gold they had risked everything to obtain. Gabriel, enraged, his eyes blazing with fury, flung open the car door and snarled, "No matter where you hide, we will find you." But Marcus was merciless. Without hesitation, he pulled the trigger and shot Gabriel dead. Seeing this, Ryan didn't waste a single second. He floored the gas pedal and drove straight into the icy waters of the lake. The car plunged like a shooting star, accompanied by a desperate, haunting scream. Even as the car sank deep into the abyss, Marcus wouldn't stop. He furiously rained bullets down on them. The gunfire splashed into the water, creating ominous ripples on the surface. Marcus had no intention of stopping. He was determined to eliminate them all. Only when he saw Gabriel's body slowly float to the surface did he sneer in triumph. Then leave with his men. Luckily, a reserve oxygen tank inside the car saved the rest of the group, allowing them to escape by the skin of their teeth. Crawling onto the shore, Ryan clutched Gabriel's lifeless body, overwhelmed with grief. His eyes burned with the flames of vengeance. A brutal, merciless quest for retribution was about to begin. After a year of relentless searching, Ryan finally discovered Marcus's hideout. However, Marcus had stored the gold in an even more advanced safe. To crack it, Ryan decided to enlist Olivia, the daughter of legendary locksmith Jonathan. She had inherited her father's exceptional skills and was now one of the top experts in high-tech safes. With the chance to reclaim the stolen gold and avenge her father, Olivia didn't hesitate to join the mission. The next day, Ryan introduced Olivia to the crew with great respect. First was Lucas, the genius hacker who could effortlessly infiltrate digital systems and crack complex security codes. Next was Felix, the explosives expert, who had mastered the art of controlled demolition to create precise openings in critical moments. Finally, there was Liam, the elite driver. Not only did he possess irresistibly Mediterranean-style hair, but his unparalleled driving skills allowed him to conquer any terrain in record time. With the team assembled, Ryan led them on a covert stakeout outside Marcus's mansion, carefully observing. However, they quickly realized the grim reality: the estate was a fortress, protected by cutting-edge security systems and armed guards patrolling every inch of the property. To make matters worse, 2 ferocious guard dogs roamed the premises. Just then, a familiar figure appeared: Marcus himself. He seemed anxious, discreetly carrying a heavy suitcase to his car. Seeing his old enemy ignited a surge of fury in Ryan's heart. As Marcus left the house, He was secretly followed to a jewelry store. It turned out that he was trying to liquidate the stolen gold. Given the vast amount, he couldn't sell it openly. Instead, he had to carefully navigate the black market, selling it bit by bit. Ryan gathered the team to discuss their plan. The first step of the operation was to secretly infiltrate Marcus's house, take pictures of the interior structure, and hack into his security camera system. This was clearly a challenging task. However, Lucas the tech genius confidently declared that it would be a piece of cake. The next day, Felix and Liam staked out the entrance of a telecommunications company, keeping an eye on a female technician named Natalie. They needed to acquire a uniform and a repair van, but this was no challenge for the charming Liam. With just a few smooth words, Liam won Natalie's heart and easily got the keys to the van. Olivia then put on the telecommunications company uniform, disguised herself as Natalie, and used a duplicate key to drive the repair van. Next, Felix opened the equipment box and deliberately cut off Marcus's network connection. Marcus quickly realized that his security cameras were offline, and his TV screen was filled with static. He hurriedly called his security guards, instructing them to contact the telecommunications company for repairs. Olivia drove the van toward Marcus's house to meet her teammates. Lucas, who was listening in on the conversation between the guards and the company, now had a crucial role to play. Liam handed Olivia fake identification papers, while Ryan attached a tiny camera to her uniform and instructed her to find the location of the safe. Despite the heavy pressure, Olivia bravely proceeded. The guards carefully checked her paperwork, but she smoothly passed their inspection. However, as soon as she drove into the estate, two vicious guard dogs suddenly lunged at the van, clawing at the windows, causing Olivia to panic. At that moment, Marcus appeared and ordered the dogs to back off. Upon seeing the beautiful Olivia, he immediately greeted her warmly. Once inside the mansion, Marcus boasted non-stop about his luxurious estate. Following Ryan's instructions, Olivia discreetly opened the door to a small adjoining room. Sure enough, the safe was sitting quietly inside. However, Marcus, always on high alert, quickly noticed something was off. He rushed over, shut the door, and told Olivia that there were no network cables in that room. Olivia remained calm, pretending to check around the mansion while secretly recording everything with her hidden camera. Once her mission was complete, Olivia announced that she had fixed the problem. Receiving the signal, Felix quickly restored Marcus's internet connection. When Marcus turned on his TV, everything was back to normal. Just as Olivia was about to leave, Marcus unexpectedly invited her to dinner. Seeing the man who had murdered her father, Olivia's emotions surged. She neither refused outright nor agreed immediately. She wanted to keep this opportunity open for their future plan. Back at their hideout, Lucas used the recorded footage to map out the mansion's layout. However, another major obstacle arose. The distance between the main entrance and the safe's location was too great. Moving a nearly 1-ton safe by hand to their getaway vehicle would be an extreme challenge. After taking measurements, Lucas discovered that the hallway was 6 feet wide. Ryan suddenly had a brilliant idea. They could drive a Mini Cooper into the hallway. They immediately added weight to the Mini to simulate the weight of the gold and had Olivia practice driving it through a model identical to Marcus's mansion. The test went smoothly, but a major issue arose. The car's suspension system was too weak. Felix had to track down a specialist to reinforce the Mini's structure. Meanwhile, Marcus, trying to impress Olivia on their dinner date, brought some of the stolen gold to a jeweler to exchange for cash. However, during the transaction, the jeweler unknowingly mentioned Venice. That single word sparked a murderous intent in Marcus. The gold bars were engraved with the image of a Parisian dancer, an emblem connected to the infamous Venice heist that had shocked the entire country. Fearing the jeweler might expose his secret, Marcus mercilessly killed him. Then, in a panic, he hurriedly packed up the gold and money to flee. But just at that moment, a suspicious car appeared outside the shop. Terrified, Marcus wiped his fingerprints off the cash box and escaped through the back door. The man who entered through the front was none other than the jeweler's cousin. No one could have predicted that he was a notorious crime boss. Seeing his relative brutally murdered, he flew into a rage. He quickly tracked down the middleman involved in the illegal gold trade and discovered Marcus's identity. A terrifying disaster was now waiting for Marcus. Meanwhile, Ryan's Mini Cooper was finally ready. After the modifications, the car was now a beast. Its off-road capabilities were highly impressive. With everything set, they eagerly prepared to strike. As soon as Marcus left his house in his sports car, heading to his dinner with Olivia, the team sped toward his mansion in 3 Mini Coopers. But once again, fate played a cruel trick on them. On the way, Ryan noticed that Marcus's neighbors were throwing a massive party. If they blew up the mansion's gate as planned, it would attract far too much attention. Reluctantly, they had to abandon their original strategy. Olivia had planned to ditch Marcus that evening, but now she had no choice. She had to go through with the dinner to keep their plan alive. Olivia had no choice but to go along with Marcus. But during their conversation, a casual remark from her made Marcus suspicious. He immediately recognized it as Jonathan's signature phrase. In an instant, Marcus realized that Olivia was Jonathan's daughter. Thinking quickly, Olivia knocked over a bottle of wine. At that moment, the rest of the team, who had been lying in wait at the restaurant, sprang into action, surrounding Marcus. Seeing them, Marcus was utterly shocked. He couldn't believe they had survived instead of drowning. Ryan stepped forward and boldly declared that they would take back the gold that rightfully belonged to them. right in front of Marcus. However, Marcus remained unfazed. He was all too familiar with Ryan's tactics. Ryan challenged Marcus to wait and see. But what no one expected was that, while eavesdropping on Marcus's conversation with his guards, Lucas had accidentally discovered that Marcus was planning to transport the safe to the airport to escape. Upon hearing this, Ryan was not disappointed, he was thrilled. He had been struggling to find a way to break into the heavily guarded mansion. And now, the perfect opportunity had presented itself. Ryan decided to strike during the transportation process. Liam, however, was concerned, believing this wouldn't be an easy task. With so many possible routes to the airport, there was no way to predict which one Marcus would take. But Ryan was confident. He assured the team that he had already arranged the perfect route for Marcus. It turned out that Lucas had successfully hacked into Los Angeles' traffic light control system. They could shut down all alternative routes, forcing the convoy to follow the path they had chosen. Felix stealthily planted explosives in a tunnel beneath the only road Marcus's convoy would be able to take. Lucas stationed himself at the train station, using specialized equipment to monitor real-time footage from intersection cameras, ensuring they had up to the second information. A new member of the team, Ren, strategically parked a truck by the roadside, ready to provide assistance at any moment. The rest of the team sat in their vehicles, waiting patiently for Marcus's convoy to depart. When the convoy finally came into view, everyone was stunned. Marcus had deployed 3 armored trucks, using a deceptive tactic to confuse potential attackers. He himself was observing the entire operation from a helicopter. However, these precautions didn't faze Ryan. The 3 armored trucks, like massive metal beasts, advanced down the street, but only one of them was carrying the $35 million in gold. The first challenge was determining which truck held the treasure. But for Ryan, this puzzle was simple. He confidently stated, "The truck that sits the lowest to the ground is carrying the gold." Hearing this, Lucas sprang into action. Using precise calculations, he quickly measured the tire heights of all 3 armored trucks. Within moments, he identified truck number 128 as the lowest one. Receiving the intel, the rest of the team immediately locked onto their target. Lucas quickly entered commands into his computer, hacking into the traffic control system. In an instant, all the traffic lights on the convoy's route turned green. Chaos erupted on the surrounding streets as a massive traffic jam ensued. Meanwhile, Lucas kept their designated route open. As expected, the armored convoy fell right into their trap, moving along the pre-planned path and heading straight into their ambush. Just then, Lucas noticed that a subway train had just left the station, and the next one wouldn't arrive for another 90 seconds. Ryan made a split-second decision. He led the team in a high-speed chase toward the station. Their cars wove through the traffic like a storm, cutting through the crowd as they raced against time. They sprinted down the station platform, locked in a life-or-death race against the subway train. Just as the train was about to stop, their vehicle, like a wild horse, recklessly darted across the tracks in front of it. Finally, they made it into the tunnel safely. Lucas, brimming with confidence, hit enter. As if by magic, the subway train stopped precisely at the station, and the electrical system shut down. The massive train blocked the tunnel entrance, sealing off any possible pursuit. The 3 Mini Coopers, nimble as leopards, darted through the tunnel. They swiftly reached their designated position, ready to intercept the armored truck. Up in the helicopter, Marcus watched everything unfold. He immediately noticed the strange traffic congestion and quickly realized that this had to be Lucas's handiwork. He kept his eyes locked on the armored convoy, knowing that even a slight mistake could result in disaster. As the convoy gradually approached the ambush site, Lucas changed all the traffic lights to red, forcing the trucks to stop. In the same instant, Felix detonated the explosives. The targeted armored truck plunged into the tunnel below. At the same time, Liam activated the release mechanism on a specially modified truck, dropping a barricade over the tunnel entrance. In just seconds, the armored truck had seemingly disappeared into thin air. Marcus was thrown into a frenzy, scrambling to locate the missing truck. But when his security team arrived at the subway station, they were horrified to discover that the tunnel entrance was completely blocked by the stationary train. Receiving the update, Marcus felt an overwhelming sense of dread rising within him. He was desperate and ordered his guards to enter through the next subway entrance to continue their search for the safe. Liam, wasting no time, fired tear gas into the truck's cab, incapacitating the driver. Meanwhile, Ryan used all his strength to pry open the truck's doors. When Olivia finally laid eyes on the safe, she froze in shock. She had never expected Marcus to have replaced it. This safe was entirely different from the one she had previously seen. Olivia frowned. After carefully examining the safe, she discovered that it had an anti-theft glass protection system. Her heart tightened as she realized that drilling a hole would be extremely risky if the glass panel at the back broke. The safe would be permanently locked, making it impossible to open. Left with no other choice, Olivia had to rely on the traditional lock-picking method her father had taught her. This old-school technique now seemed particularly difficult. Every movement felt excruciatingly slow. Her hands trembled, but she remained intensely focused, not allowing herself a single moment of distraction. The tension in the air was palpable. Seconds felt like hours, and the rest of the team was anxiously waiting, their nerves stretched to the breaking point. But in this critical moment, Olivia found herself too overwhelmed to stay calm. Doubt crept into her mind. She wasn't sure she could crack the safe in time. Meanwhile, Marcus's security team was closing in fast, making the situation even more urgent. Ryan continuously encouraged Olivia, his eyes steady and warm, full of unwavering confidence in her. With everyone on edge, Olivia slowly closed her eyes, blocking out all distractions. She controlled her breathing and relied solely on her sense of touch to feel for the critical mechanisms inside the lock. Time seemed to stand still. The only thing she could hear was the pounding of her own heartbeat. Finally, a soft click echoed through the room. Olivia had unlocked the safe. At that moment, relief and triumph surged through the group. They wasted no time transferring the gold into their getaway vehicles. Although Marcus had spent a portion of it, the remaining gold was still worth $27 million. The excitement was like a tidal wave, overwhelming them. They hurriedly loaded the gold and prepared to escape. But just as they were about to breathe a sigh of relief, a deafening roar filled the air. Two of Marcus's security guards, riding motorcycles like ghosts in the night, sped after them. The team raced through the dark, damp underground tunnels in their Mini Coopers, desperately trying to evade their relentless pursuers. The guards, refusing to let them escape, stayed right on their tails like a pack of hungry wolves. As they closed in, they reported their position to Marcus. Without hesitation, the guards opened fire, bullets screeching through the confined space like the cries of death itself. Liam wasn't about to go down without a fight. With precise control, he made a sharp, calculated turn. A thunderous crash followed as one of the motorcycles lost balance and slammed into the tunnel wall. But the second rider wasn't giving up. He continued chasing them, recklessly firing his weapon. The Mini Coopers, like wild stallions, burst out of the tunnels and back into daylight. But Liam wasn't content with simply running away. He executed a flawless 180-degree turn, slamming open the car door just as the motorcycle rider reached him. Caught off guard, the guard tumbled off his bike and hit the ground hard. Just as they thought they were in the clear, a terrifying sound roared through the sky. Marcus had arrived in a helicopter, bearing down on them like a vengeful demon. A high-speed chase like no other began, even with Lucas skillfully controlling the traffic lights to clear a path. They found themselves trapped under the relentless pursuit of the helicopter. In this life-or-death moment, Ryan made a bold decision. They had to split up. Like a true warrior, he volunteered to be the bait, drawing Marcus's attention away from the others. Marcus, a cunning and ruthless predator, knew the best way to win was to eliminate the leader. Fixated on Ryan, he pursued him like a wolf tracking its prey. Thanks to Ryan's diversion, the rest of the team gained valuable time to escape. But in his desperate bid to evade capture, Ryan accidentally drove into a dead-end alley. Just as he tried to reverse, Marcus's helicopter blocked the only exit. It seemed like the end. Just as Marcus believed victory was within his grasp, Ryan displayed extraordinary bravery. He slammed on the gas pedal, his Mini Cooper roaring like a beast. Speeding up a ramp and launching into the air, the car crashed directly into the helicopter's tail rotor, sending it spiraling out of control. Ryan's Mini landed safely, while the damaged helicopter was forced to make an emergency landing. Wasting no time, Ryan sped off, leaving Marcus fuming with rage. Enraged beyond reason, Marcus hijacked a pickup truck and resumed his relentless pursuit. Meanwhile, the remaining Mini Coopers reached the train station. They swiftly drove onto a train car, securing their escape route. Just in time, Ryan arrived at the station and leapt onto the train in the final seconds before it departed. But Marcus wasn't far behind. He had witnessed everything from the shadows. Seeing the train doors closing and the train about to depart, he panicked. Frantically, he rushed to a station worker, attempting to bribe his way aboard. However, what Marcus didn't know was that this employee was actually part of Ryan's crew. As the train doors slowly reopened, Marcus's eyes widened in disbelief. Ryan stepped out from inside the train, a smirk playing on his lips. He had outsmarted Marcus yet again. Furious, Marcus drew his gun, demanding that Ryan return the gold. But Ryan didn't flinch. Suddenly, two large men emerged from behind Marcus, pressing their guns to his neck. He never saw it coming. Marcus had no idea that Ryan had already struck a deal with a notorious crime boss. At this point, Marcus had no way out. Still, he attempted to manipulate the situation, trying to sow discord between Ryan and the crime boss. But he failed to realize that Ryan had already planned for this. Not only had he set aside a share of the gold for the crime syndicate, but he had also delivered Marcus right into their hands. The crime boss had no intention of giving Marcus a quick death. He wanted to take him back to his own turf, where Marcus would suffer punishments far worse than death. With the traitor finally dealt with, Ryan and his team successfully reclaimed the gold. Justice had been served. As the train sped toward the horizon, the group raised their glasses in celebration, toasting to their triumph and a brighter future ahead. Today's story comes to an end, but the journey of exploring great movies continues. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any exciting upcoming videos. Also, leave a comment sharing your thoughts on the movie. Your support is the biggest motivation for me to create even more quality content. See you in the next video.